Hello and welcome back to Speed Demon Painting. Today we are taking a look at a release that a lot of players have been anticipating for Armoured Clash. The Imperium is unleashing their land forces, and in addition there is also a release for Dystopian Wars where the alliance is being reinforced with the Salvador squadrons. The initial wave for the Imperium will be their big Imperium faction battle group, where you basically get a nearly 2000 point force in one box, and if you want to take it slower, you can get the Imperium introductory set, which is pretty much half of the big box minus the big behemoth. But of course, if you just want to go all in, you can just get the two of them and you will actually have multiple build options of various units in there, because as we'll see, there's quite a few of them. The Alliance Salvador squadrons are two big sort of mass 3 battlecruisers, it seems, for the Alliance, which can build two different variants that we'll check out later on in the video. Now let's start things off with the big box, the Imperium faction battle group set. In it you get your traditional big behemoth, you can see her in the center, and then traditionally it comes with both an armored regiment, meaning 2 sprues of those times 2, and then an infantry regiment times 2 as well. Now I'm not entirely sure what can be found on which type of sprue exactly, but it does amount to a nice total when you look at this overview. And of course, as a nice little cherry on top, you're also getting some of the Dystopian Wars terrain in here, the Dystopian Age terrain I should say, where you can build a couple of nice 10mm sized buildings to go onto your battlefield to act as a couple of objectives and line of sight blockers. Now for the big behemoth unit in this box there are two build options, the first being the Seeger Vitruvian Colossus, which comes with this sort of a shooty arm which looks to be an electro weapon and a big flamethrower and a fist, whereas the second version, the Faust, comes with this sort of close combat weapon and also has the same sort of flamer and open fist on the other hand, so I'm guessing this one is going to be more geared towards getting in close with your enemy and then just squeezing the life out of them, whereas the other one is more of a big artillery piece standing in the back. Now I'm a big sucker for these sort of steampunk style behemoths, so yeah, this is right up my alley. I do like the design of this one. It's got a suitable amount of rivets and sort of joint work and bits and nubbins on there. I really do like the poles. It remains to be seen how well you can sort of pose it as well to make your own version out of it, but yeah, this one is absolutely gorgeous. Now if these are sort of in line with what we can expect from the other factions, you'll only be able to field these if you go above the skirmish level, meaning 1500 points. That doesn't look like it's going to be an issue though with this size of box, but if you want to play smaller games you will have to sort of revert to your infantry commanders, which is this Zion Grenadier Command Platoon. Now these Zion Grenadiers look very, very detailed. I mean, there's lots of little webbing on there, there's some detail on the helmets that you can pick out if you so desire, so I really do like the design of them, and I'm particularly fond of this little K9 attack dog that comes with that big imposing commander. It is a gorgeous bit of kit, and I wonder if this is the resin commander being depicted here with the one-player starter set, or if this is the one that only comes in the introductory set. We'll sort of have to wait and see, but it's a gorgeous model regardless. I like the infantry as well, the Zion Grenadiers with these big bulky electro weapons. Yeah, absolutely love it. The first type of tank seems to be a bit of a reminiscent of the A7V from back in World War I, which is this Sturmpanzer battle tank, which does seem to come with an electro weapon here mounted in the front, so it might be an arc style weapon. Maybe it's the same rule as we've seen for the Union. That would actually be quite good if there's a bit of similarity in the rules, so you don't always have to learn two very different ones that are still very similar, if you know what I'm saying. You can also get another variant in here, which is the Turmpanzer zu Ruten siege tank, which comes with a heavier cannon here at the front, so I can imagine this one being shorter ranged and sort of specialized at breaking apart vehicles, or rather buildings that have infantry hiding in them. And then the final variant is the Panzerwagen armored transport that is clearly there to sort of get your infantry out. Might even come with the assault ramp option that we've seen from the Crown. It sure looks like it could be that thing, so very, very cool. Apart from your basic Grenadier infantry, you're also getting some Totenkopf Jäger cavalry, which seems to be the Grenadiers mounted on these fast attack bikes that are very reminiscent of the bikes that we see in Wild West Exodus. Not the iron horses, but the other type. And this other type is the Ranger Bandit Interceptors. It used to be available from Wild West Exodus. I believe this one is out of print now, so it's kind of cool to see this design coming back, but then with that sort of skull head at the front that the Totenkopf Corps is probably known for. It seems like the Prussians are also bringing jump infantry with them, because we've got the Luftlanzer Air Jaeger unit in here, where they get the back wings that look a lot like their aircraft, which is really, really cool. And there's 4 to a base of those. I believe you're getting 4 of them in an infantry regiment, so there's 8 in grand total in this box. But the Zion Grenadiers are not the only type of infantry they have. They also get the Zion Vierling Heavy Infantry, which come with these big old heavy underslung weapons with 4 barrels on them each. So yeah, that's really, really cool that they have 2 different variants of stormtroopers. And for the field guns, they actually come with 3 different variants as well. The first one being the Krupp field guns, which looks like a more traditional anti-tank sort of firepower type of deal. They also have the Essen rocket field guns, which comes with these warheads on there, and then finally sort of an arc weapon with the Tunar arc field guns. If you want to get up close and electrify your opponents, you can as well with these field guns. Next up we have my personal favorite trio, which is the Lucifer Heavy Walker, which builds 3 different variants. You have the one with the electro cannon here in the front, or rather the more traditional cannon here I should say, the Lucifer Heavy Walker. It can also be built with a Donnerschlag variant, the Artillery Walker, where they don't get the big cannon in the front, but they sort of swap out in the back for a big rocket barrage, which looks really, really cool. And then finally, of course, there has to be an electro cannon version, the Sturmriese Arc Walker, which is really, really neat to see as well. And it looks different enough in terms of weapon, especially because the smaller sponson weapons here on the sides are also changed out. We're also finally seeing the Teutonic Armature Castellans, which are sort of the heaviest infantry that they have. The 2 guys standing in the back are sort of their squires, which are automata, I think they are, with these big halberds. And there are 2 different variants of Teutonic Knight you can put in the front, the first one being the Armature, and there's also the Crusader here, which swaps out that electro cannon for a close combat mace. So it stands to reason that this is going to be the one that is geared towards close combat. I think it's a really, really cool base layout as well, to have 1 giant knight standing in front with 2 smaller infantrymen in the back. Sort of really emphasizes that it's all about the guy in the front really for that unit, and not so much about the 2 tiny robots accompanying him. And then to round things off for this release, we're also getting the trikes for the Imperium, the Zion Heavy Dreirad, which can come with either this sort of electro cannon here at the front. They don't have the iconic Totenkopf here as well, so that's something unique to the lighter cavalry. But you can also get them with the Vierling as well, which stands to reason that this will be the anti-air unit for the Prussians, and I really do like this design as well. I like it slightly better than the Arc one, so I think I'll be building this one, especially given that aircraft are on their way as well this month. And then finally, these 1-player faction starter sets are meant to be an out-of-the-box experience, so you're getting pretty much everything you need to start playing. You get all the different tokens, dice, of which you get 24. I know there's some people who are always a bit anxious when they see that a game system has sort of their own unique dice, but they give you so many in Armoured Clash, and it really is a bit of a non-issue, because I seldom have to reach for more than 24 dice, and that is what you're getting in this set. You're also getting your measuring sticks in here, a turn marker, and then also a sort of a turning marker for your big behemoth units, as well as some plastic objective markers, which really, really helps. You're also getting your deck of cards in here, so you don't have to buy those separately, and a copy of the rules in an A5 format. And of course, as a neat little extra, you're also getting some of the Dystopian Industrial Modular Terrain set. You can build many different variants with this. They are also sold separately should you want to make very big and imposing bits of terrain as well. Now you can always link up with the ones that you're getting in this set as well, so you can get your terrain looking spiffy as well. And you get a neat little overview in the end of what you can build with it, so there's quite a bit included in there, but it remains to be seen what units can be found on what sprue. And should you want to expand, the Imperium introductory set is an option to expand in the first release, but it's also an option to just start a bit more slowly, because I can guarantee you that there is a lot of models in one of these sets, and it does take quite a while to paint up completely. And of course, when I get my hands on these, I will be doing a paint guide on how I bring these to life. So if you want to see that video, definitely subscribe to the channel for when that video drops. Now, the introductory set doesn't bring anything new per se to the table, except of course this little question mark, the resin commander that is found in here. It remains to be seen if this one is only available in this introductory set, or if this one is also included rather in the one player set, because I think that might be a small mistake in the blog post. Next up we have the new release for Dystopian Wars, and it seems like SUSA players can be quite happy as well, because players manning a SUSA fleet can now look forwards to the release of the Alliance Salvador squadron in April, introducing the formidable Salvador battlecruisers. Now, the SUSA was always a bit of an underdeveloped sub-faction back in the days when the Union and the Alliance were first being released, but they're getting fleshed out a lot more now. They've got back-to-back releases with the Gotham battlefleet set last month, and now these, the Alliance Salvador squadrons. The main difference is, of course, that this one is only aimed at the Alliance. This is not something that you can field in your Union force as well. In the lore, the SUSA are basically the Confederates that have fled to countries such as Cuba to sort of put a resistance fighting force in there and throwing their lot in with the Alliance. So they do have a look that is very similar to the Union ships, but they are definitely their own thing with this Salvador squadron. It mentions in the blog that these ships are sort of a retrofit of some of the old Pensacola class battlecruisers that are no longer operational, but are being used in here. And it looks like the Salvador class battlecruiser comes with 2 heavy gun batteries aimed towards the front, and then with 4 smaller rocket batteries, 2 of them facing forward, and then another 2 of them in the back shooting at the rear. I'm very curious to see what this is going to do in the Orbat as well. There have been some tweaks where they could all fire the 4 rockets in a same sort of arc, with that being changed into Commonwealth, so we'll have to wait and see if that is also going to be the case for these ships. The second build you can make with this set is the Francisco class battlecruiser, and it comes with 2 heavy heat lances here towards the front, and in the back we can see the regular heat lances being pointed towards the rear. And it also comes with a Solex generator that goes on here. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be the same type of Solex generator that sort of works as a bubble, boosting all of the solar weapons of ships nearby as well, like the Dieppe does, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll have to wait and see once that Beta Orbat is dropped. What I personally really like in these designs though is how it combines the paddle wheels that can be found on some of the old school Union designs with these wings that can be found on the cruisers to the French nation as well. So yeah, like it describes in the blog, quite a bit of ingenuity to sort of blend Union and Alliance sort of technology together in this ship, and it sort of shows in the aesthetics as well, which is really, really cool. And there we have it. These different boxes are going to go on pre-order now, which means they will be released at the end of April. I'm definitely going to get a lot of Prussian boxes for this one, because that has always been my main faction in Dystopian Wars, so it's going to be the same main faction in Armoured Clash as well. So yeah, this is definitely the month that I have been looking forward the most so far. And if you have been anticipating this release as much as I have, definitely let me know in the comments. I hope you liked the video, and I do hope to see you in the next one. Until then, bye!